This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Welcome back to part two. We're going to get back to work here, and we're going to leave where we start off. We're going to finish up the orange team, and then we're going to work to the green team, and then the yellow and blue team. We're going to get them all going. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get some new oil all over this guy, especially on the parts that we painted lead belcher, because we don't want them to just kind of be like the black was. You know, this is our way of bringing some definition to the black, and that's just by putting a little new oil in there. So I'm going to do the rest of this, and I'm going to show you how it turns out. Now, keeping in flavor with the other units here, I decided to just get everything right where I need to get it. Throw a little, just a hair wash on there. As you can see, what I'm really trying to do is just darken this up a little bit, give it a little bit of battle wear, and really darken more the lead belcher than anything else. And then, of course, our spy camera here, we really kind of just did everything that we really wanted to do here. Now, what I want to do, and you can see we got this guy right where we want him as well, is I'm going to put some of these numbers on, because I think that it'll really add to the effect, since some of the big guys got numbers and stuff like that. So why should we discriminate and not have the little guys have it? So the way I do that, and I'm going to show you in a second here, is these are rub-ons, and because we're going to spray these anyways with a matte finish, we can just come over and we can put any kind of number we want on it. So for instance, if I want to put a 9 over here on this side, I could just come over, line it up, and just rub it on there. And all I did was just take the nub of this and just kind of put it on there. Well, of course, I don't like where that 9 went, so you can just scrape it off, of course, or just paint over it. But I was just doing it basically for the camera. Well, we can put a different number. And you just want to line it up. You want to make sure that you get it in there good. And the key is just getting it where you want it and rubbing it on there. There we go. Now we fixed that pretty good by just throwing a 92 on there, which looks pretty good. And it just gives a little different feel there. Now we're going to put some numbers on the rest of these, and I'm going to show you how they go on in a bit. As you can see, I just added the numbers on. I just added a couple numbers here, a couple numbers there, 46, you know, just to give it a little flair there. And then on the other side here, we've got a 92, which, you know, just gives it a little bit more feel there. So that's going to take care of this orange army for now. We're going to highlight out a little bit a little later at the in the last part of this. So let's move on to the next team and see how we're going to paint those up. Okay, so now that we have the we've got these guys pretty much decently. What I'm doing is taking what is called Astro Granite. It's a texture paint from Citadel. And since the city is all blown up and stuff, and the streets are all covered with rubble, what I'm doing is just taking this and working it in here, because it has a very thick texture to it, and just kind of making it, that's what our base is going to be. When this dries, we're going to paint over it at some point and really get this where it looks pretty nice. So I wanted to finish that up before we went on to the next step with these guys. And I know I said we were going to start the blue team, but we will. So I'm just taking it, and I'm not being stingy with it. I want it to kind of lump up a little bit, to kind of make it seem like it's uneven terrain that these things have to go on. So I'm actually taking a pair of tweezers and just working it around and just getting it in there, And you can see that I'm going to finish this up, and it's going to look something like this here. And we're going to let that dry. It's still wet, so we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to paint over it and really get that texture look and get that 3-dimension up. So I'm going to finish this up, and okay, so now we've got the base coats for the blue team done, and let's just take a look at some of the stuff I did. It's a lot of silver work in here, lead belcher, and black on this particular guy, just hitting the joints and just picking out little areas. The feet you want to have with the lead belcher, and then the rivets we all lead belchered up. With this autocannon or whatever the heck it is, just the base coats, good blacks all the way around the wheels, lead belcher in the wheel holes. The muffler here we kind of just made black for now. I may just dry brush out a little lead belcher, and of course we have the moot green for the lights and the missiles, and as you can see we're trying to just bring a little color to this. And then for the scout ship, a little moot green, some evil scarlet red, some black to kind of break up those circles a little bit, and then of course on the plates we have the Abaddon black, lead belcher underneath here, and that's kind of how we're going to go with these. Now with the big guy here, we just tried to bring some things out on him, just to give him a little bit of flair, just to bring out a little bit more of him. There wasn't much to do. Our cannons here, we had some moot green. We added lead belcher all at the joints and the gears, the feet, the rivets. In between here, I felt because it probably went up and down and turned, that it would have just be down to bare metal. The antennas here, we kind of put the red on there to signal some lights a little bit, to just give it a little bit of color and a little bit something that it needed. And in here, of course, we put some evil sun scarlet to just kind of brighten it up. So as you can see here, we're coming along. We've got the first half of the team done. Now we're going to save the highlights, where we're going to try to dry brush a little more definition on these guys for the last part of this that you'll see on Thursday. So Thursday or Friday, depending on which we finish the last two teams, because we have the green and yellow team left to do. So, and then I'm also going to finish up the bases on these guys, and I'll show you that also on Thursday. Once this dries, we'll show you how we're going to dry brush and give it another added dimension once it dries. So I'm also going to do these bases too. So that's it for part 2. As you can see, we're moving along pretty good. One more part to go. I'm going to add some numbers here. I'm going to get these ready, all ready to dry brush out. And what I want to do is get the final 6 guys ready and touch up the final 2 big guys, because they could use a little love here or there. Not too much. Actually a pretty decent job. And then we'll have this all ready to go for our live battle on Saturday, which I'm really looking forward to, as it's the Jarl versus myself. All right, until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.